Unlimited Sales Success. 12 Simple Steps for Selling More Than You Ever Thought Possible. Brian Tracy and Michael Tracy. Principle 1. The Psychology of Selling. There are 7 steps to mental fitness in selling and for improving how you think and feel about yourself and your potential. To become a top salesperson, you must be 1. Ambitious, 2. Courageous, 3. Committed to your work, 4. Professional, 5. Responsible, 6. Thoroughly prepared for each call, 7. A continuous learner. By practicing each of these principles over and over, you will eventually get into the mental Olympics of selling. The 80/20ths rule applies in the area of continuous learning as well. It says that 80% of salespeople either have not been professionally trained, or if they were, they seldom make any effort to learn anything new for the rest of their careers. And their income reflects their lack of continuous learning. They are always in the bottom 80%. They always struggle and worry about money. They always envy the top salespeople. But they are not willing to do the hard work of continuous learning, and as a result, their lives never get any better. Principle 2. Personal Sales Planning. Be the CEO of You Incorporated. Find something you love to do and you'll never have to work a day in your life. Harvey Mackay. Principle 3. Prospecting Power. The quality of a person's life is in direct proportion to their commitment to excellence, regardless of their chosen field of endeavor. Vince Lombardi. Who is your ideal customer? If you could put an ad in the paper for ideal customers, just as if you were placing an ad to hire a new person for your company, how would you describe this customer, in every detail? Especially, how would you describe your perfect customer if you could not mention your company, your product, or your service? Principle 4. Relationship Selling. Always bear in mind that your own resolution to succeed is more important than any other factor. Abraham Lincoln. The best solution is to tell customers that you would like to keep in touch with them. You can ask, how often would you like me to call on you personally? What would you be comfortable with? Customers will usually tell you how often you need to keep in touch with them to keep the relationship and to keep the plate spinning. You can also alternate with emails, telephone calls, and personal visits. This is a matter of your own judgment as to what would be the appropriate type of contact. Principle 5. Selling Consultatively. What you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals. Wolfgang von Goethe. Consultative selling moves you into an entirely new category of sales professionals. It takes you away from the continual contest and argument over costs, price, and performance. When you focus your attention on showing customers how they can financially profit from the use of your product or service, you'll achieve sales results above anything you have yet imagined. Principle 6. Identifying needs accurately. Nothing splendid has ever been achieved except by those who dared believe that something inside them was superior to the circumstance. Bruce Barton. Ask probing questions that force the prospect to think. We call these open-ended questions because they cannot be answered with yes or no. They require a more expanded response. As the customer gives you a more detailed response, it opens your eyes to opportunities to sell your product or service. It uncovers gaps that customers may not have known that they had until you asked the question in the first place. Principle 7. Influencing customer behavior. The greatest discovery of my generation is that people can alter their lives by altering their attitudes of mind. William James. Small changes in the way you present ideas and information can have extraordinary effects on the way your customer reacts to your product or service. You must be continually looking for better ways to present product or service benefits using the buying influences and decision triggers that have been discovered over the years. You will soon be able to turn a negative prospect into a customer with a few simple questions, statements, and actions. Principle 8. Making persuasive presentations. I am not judged by the number of times I fail, but by the number of times I succeed, and the number of times I succeed is proportional to the number of times I fail and keep trying. Tom Hopkins. Your goal is to plan and perfect your sales presentation to the point that it is so convincing and persuasive that the prospect buys almost every single time. At the end of an excellent presentation, the customer should be eager to enjoy the benefits of what you are selling. Fortunately, this is largely a matter of thorough preparation and continuous improvement. And presentation mastery is a skill that you can learn. Principle 9. Overcoming objections. Formal education will make you a living, self-education will make you a fortune. Jim Rohn. The formula for answering objections is simple: answer the objection politely and professionally, provide proof in the form of a testimonial letter or something from your sales materials, ask for confirmation from the prospect that this answers his question or concern, and then proceed with your sales presentation. Remember, objections are the rungs on the ladder to sales success. The more objections you get, the more interested the prospect is in your product or service. This is a good sign. When you hear an objection, you should be thankful and then begin turning the objection into a reason for buying. Principle 10. Closing the sale. Success means having the courage, the determination, and the will to become the person you believe you were meant to be. George Sheehan. You can only learn sales techniques, including closing techniques, by practicing them face-to-face with a real live prospect who has the power to buy or not to buy on the basis of your selling ability. You can role play back at the office, or practice with your family, but the only way you can actually learn the skill permanently is by using it in front of a potential customer. Principle 11. Getting resales and referrals. What lies behind you and what lies in front of you pales in comparison to what lies inside you. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Develop a relationship maintenance strategy, even before you meet the customer for the first time. Take a piece of paper and write down a list of activities you will engage in, from the first sale onward, to ensure that this customer remains happy and satisfied and feels so good about you that the customer will recommend you willingly to other people. Remember, it takes 1/15 of the time, cost, and energy to sell to a referral as compared with a cold call or a customer that you generate through your lead acquisition activities. Principle 12. Time management for sales professionals. The ability to focus attention on important things is the defining characteristic of intelligence. Robert J. Schiller. Sales professionals as well can benefit greatly from using the checklist as a battle-tested time management tool. Create 5 checklists: yearly action items, quarterly action items, monthly action items, weekly action items, daily action items. Once you create your yearly checklist, reference it to create your quarterly checklist. Use your quarterly checklist to create your weekly list and your weekly list to create a list every workday. Follow these lists, especially your daily lists, all the time. You can significantly increase productivity and reduce stress by keeping on track every day. Use a checklist to plan your work and work your plan. It is one of the best time management tools ever discovered.